I transmigrated into a certain novel world, and only by making the heroine hate me can I return to my original world. To get back, I adopted the method of making the biggest possible scene. I started doing all sorts of disgusting things directed at the female lead. Whatever she likes, I snatch it away and smash it. Does she dislike something? I shove it into her hands. I even throw it on her bed. In short, the core purpose of everything I do is to make the female lead hate me completely. But I don't know why, no matter how far I go afterward. She apparently doesn't take it seriously and just lets me act out of control. Many of my actions made others unable to bear it. With clenched hearts and gritted teeth, they complained to her, but she only said, "Why the rush? Has he treated you like this? He only treats me this way." What does that mean? It means he loves me. Damn it. I was left speechless. I don't get it. Chapter 1. The female lead. Willow and I grew up together as childhood friends. Today is her 20th birthday party. She invited everyone, except me. That enraged me. Well, whatever. I don't need an invitation. I've got no shame. Just a street punk. I'll show up even without being called. I walked straight into the hotel's private room and kicked the door open. The inside instantly fell silent and all eyes turned toward me. "Holy shit," they shouted. "It's you, man. You scared us to death. We thought someone had come to settle accounts for the party." "George, man. What a temper, like a powder keg," another mocked. "You should change your name to Juan the Powder Keg." I didn't care at all about the guests' incredulous comments. I fixed my gaze on Willow, who was in a corner talking on the phone. "Hey, Miss Lou, what's this? You invited so many people to celebrate your birthday, and yet you left me out." Hearing my arrogant, provocative tone, Willow frowned slightly and glanced at me. After finishing a few words on the phone, she turned her attention to me. Today she wore her long black hair tied up in a high ponytail, revealing her pretty forehead and smooth white neck. Her bearing was exceptionally elegant and proud, so much so that even I stared at her blankly. There's no denying it, Willow is truly beautiful, but that indifferent, almost disdainful gaze clashed with her entire presence, leaving people unsettled. "Mr. Wong," she said, "if I'm not mistaken, you've blocked me on every possible means of contact. How would you have received my invitation?" Her reaction wasn't one of surprise. She spoke calmly, unshaken. "Besides, even if I hadn't invited you, didn't you come in anyway?" Outside the room, 7 or 8 bodyguards stood with dark expressions. No one dared stop me. I felt a little embarrassed and coughed. "Doesn't matter if you blocked me or not. You send your invitations, what's it to you? If I see it and feel like it, maybe I'll do you the favor of showing up." That line drew murmurs from many of the guests, who openly expressed their displeasure at my attitude. Even Willow furrowed her lovely willow-shaped brows. In her eyes, the chill and dislike toward me had grown stronger. Perfect. Inside, I burst with joy. "Keep hating me to death." I kept nagging and picking at her, anything that could ruin her mood. I wouldn't let go. "Don't know what you were thinking. A birthday party in this dump. This is lame. If I'd known, I wouldn't have come." Those words were a bit over the line. I felt a little guilty and didn't dare look at her, but I kept up full throttle, sneering at that bunch of guests and so-called friends. "What are you staring at? I'm talking to you." At this point Willow should have defended them. And then, heh. Who'd ve thought the one to speak up wasn't Willow but a delicate-looking man in the crowd, his face full of displeasure and anger. "Mr. Wong, how can you behave like this? Today is Miss Willow's birthday banquet. You're the one who came uninvited. Rude words are one thing, but you must apologize to Miss Lou and to us." The moment he said that, the whole room went quiet. Some people looked at the men who'd just spoken, Martin. Others looked at me. They knew me and my temper. Their expressions shifted. They could tell what was going to happen. "Apologize? You want me to apologize? Who the hell do you think you are?" I glanced his way and couldn't help laughing out loud. In this world I'm a well-known rich second-generation brat, moody, unpredictable. With the Wong family's money and status I can make a scene and get away with it. Everything I do is aimed at making the heroine hate me. No one dares to stop me or tell me off, otherwise, they've got less money than the Wongs, less standing than the Wongs. Because of that, nobody dares offend me. Watching me keep pushing Willow's limits, they're furious but bite their tongues. They grumble privately that if my family background were poorer, I'd be finished. What a piece of work. What they don't know is that everything I do is actually to hurry along the day when I get my comeuppance. Oh right, forgot to explain the plot background. The world I crossed into is some overly melodramatic, abusive novel. The original George is the vicious male supporting character. Arrogant and bullying, hated by all, acting without regard for consequences, he offended a huge number of people. What good is a good family? Money, power, and status couldn't save George from ending up in chains. And if I want to go back to my original world, I have to follow the story, make the heroine fully detest and be annoyed with me. As long as she says to me, "George, I hate you. I never want to see you again in this life," I can go home. Willow is the heroine of this world, the absolute female lead. In the original plotline, George, that is, me, only met her when we were in college. but I found out the plot early, so I begged my father and bought a villa to be her neighbor. Using the childhood sweethearts excuse, I took every chance to bully her since we were kids. I'm desperate to get home. And like any transmigrator, at first I had a system, well, an intelligent AI, really. It kept reporting Willow's dislike progress to me, slowly inching up, which gave me a ton of motivation. From kindergarten through high school I kept courting disaster, using every trick to make Willow hate me faster. But for some reason, the year we graduated high school the AI disappeared. It stopped reporting. No choice, left with only myself, lone wolf or not. I'd stick to the rebellious rich kid persona and go all out. Anything that might make Willow happy, I wouldn't do a single thing of it. I took perverse pleasure in doing only what annoyed her. I vaguely remember once she complained about being afraid of an insect that doesn't exist back home. That very night I flew abroad, caught one, and threw it straight through her window onto her bed, jolting her out of a sweet sleep. Her screams woke a lot of people that night. I felt a bit guilty, but sorry, not sorry. From then on, whenever she saw me she'd crease her brow with impatience, every pore on her face filled with disgust. Good, very good, that's exactly the effect I want. It's also subtly guiding her so that the one line I need, I hate you, George, I never want to see you again in this life, will finally be spoken. And then I'll stop bothering her. Yet, she always pretends not to hear it and never says anything like that. I don't know whether it's her upbringing that prevents her from saying something so extreme, or some other reason. In short, I began to feel a little tired. In the original plot, today's birthday party is a major turning point. George, that is, me, causes a scene at the party, and the story's male lead appears, the delicate-looking young man who spoke earlier, Makoto. Makoto scolds me at the banquet, acting upright and considerate of others, unafraid to offend an arrogant rich kid like me. That leaves a strong impression on Willow and deepens her dislike of me. In the subsequent encounters, or rather under his urging, the heroine Willow mounts her first counterattack against George, and that's why I rushed back from abroad in such a hurry. Using Makoto for contrast will show her just how detestable I am. Watching Makoto stand up and vent for everyone, I sneakily glanced back at Willow. She was looking at Makoto just then, seeming quite interested. Even her slightly furrowed willow brows had relaxed, truly worthy of being the plot's male lead. I smirked inwardly but kept up the posture of the vicious supporting character, putting on a contemptuous grin full of arrogance. Who do you think you are? Do you have a say here too? You. Makoto's face shifted slightly at my taunt, but he still put on that caring for everyone act, which only painted me as an unforgivable villain. Young Master Wong, you mustn't go too far. Today's at least Miss Lu's birthday banquet. For you to act like this. As he spoke he noticed the guests in the private room were all silent. Not a single person backed him up. Instead, they cast pitying looks at him, making his face change again. I found it amusing. What's this kid showing off for? Don't worry, these people won't back you. They've lived under my shadow since childhood. Apart from Willow, who dares to call me out, I've been faithfully living up to the vicious supporting role. I curved a mischievous smile, deliberately making myself look obnoxious, then turned to give Willow a teasing look with my eyes. She was still watching Makoto, but her previously relaxed willow brows knit again, as if indignant on his behalf. Oh, could she be feeling sympathetic? Not surprising, she's the plot's heroine and he's the male lead. Those two are inevitably bound together, attracted to each other by fate. Now that I'd publicly mocked him, of course she'd feel for him. Makoto wasn't stupid. The silent private room made the atmosphere oppressive. He actually acted hurt and wronged, his eyes glistening with tears like a child who'd been humiliated. And he asked Willow, Miss Lu, am I wrong? I meant no other meaning. I just wanted your birthday to be a happy one. The guests in the room all turned their eyes to Willow, hoping she'd lash me out like before so they could vent too. And I, being shameless, desperately wanted to be scolded. If I didn't get yelled at I'd feel uneasy. Who would have thought? After a brief silence, the first thing she said wasn't to scold me, but a cold retort to Makoto. Do you have anything to do with me? No. Makoto was stunned, not catching her meaning. Then what business is it of yours whether I'm happy or not? Now you've made me very unhappy. Her words and expression radiated impatience, and everyone, including me, was struck dumb as if hit by a bolt from the blue. This isn't the Willow we know. What did she take today? I'd been so dramatic, and she didn't even yell at me. Could it be she's in some partnership with my old man and, out of respect for him, doesn't want to make a scene? Makoto, you're just my employee, not my friend, not anything else. How my friends are doing is none of your business. You've made me very unhappy. Before work tomorrow, put your resignation papers on my desk. I was still in shock when Willow had one of her bodyguards grab Makoto and throw him out, left me a little shaken. Soon the laughter and chatter in the private room picked up again. Maybe they'd weathered worse, and this little incident didn't spoil their mood. A pity. I didn't get a good scolding from Willow, which made some of them a bit dissatisfied. Looking at Miss Lu with her cold face, I hesitated for a while but couldn't resist my curiosity and asked back, have you been working on some kind of project with my dad lately? She shook her head. clearly impatient. I grew more puzzled and leaned in. Don't you know who that is? That's Makoto. Didn't you feel anything? Don't you know what love at first sight is? George, what the hell is wrong with you? That last line sounded like she'd stepped on a powder keg. She grew even more impatient. I think you really are a nasty piece of work. You need to be scolded every day to feel right. I get annoyed just seeing you. Can you please get lost? Feels exactly right. If I go a whole day without being scolded, I feel uncomfortable all over. Even those guests and friends relax their brows. Seeing me get scolded made them happy too, since they don't dare to chatter in front of me. Although I don't know why Willow didn't stand up for the male lead of the story. It doesn't matter. She seems even more displeased with me. The progress has taken another big step forward. Since she told me to get lost, I had no reason to stick around. Mission accomplished. And I was in a great mood. When I stepped out the hotel doors, a voice suddenly rang in my head. The system, no, the intelligent AI. System, sir, what's going on? Why did the heroine's dislike value reset to 0? System, you didn't try to curry favor with the heroine while I was asleep, did you? Holy shit, the AI resurrecting out of nowhere startled me, and anger flared up instantly. You've got some nerve to say that. You disappeared all of a sudden, and now you're accusing me of trying to win her over. All right. I won't press the other stuff for now. I'm going back right now to get her to yell at me again. You've definitely got a glitch in your AI's parameters. Otherwise, how would it go into hibernation? It's left me clueless about the progress for so long, and I don't know when I can go home. I hadn't even pushed open the private room door before I heard a group of people outside complaining about Willow. This kind of thing happened often, given how outrageous my actions were. It was hard for some folks not to rail at me, but I never expected to overhear what Willow was saying behind my back this time. Has he treated you like that? No, so why are you rushing? Willow sat among the crowd like a fairy among flowers, calm and graceful, a faint smile at the corners of her mouth. The young masters and ladies nearby all rolled their eyes helplessly, speechless. Just keep indulging him then, with your spoiling. He'll only go on bullying us, boo-hoo. As your friends, we're really so miserable. I actually saw a flush of bashfulness rise on Willow's face. She pressed her lips into a small smile and said, some things can't be explained. He wouldn't understand, and for me, this is fine. Those few words made the girls furious. They lunged forward laughing and scolding. Who are you? Tone down your romantic delusions. Our Miss Lou is nothing like that. Holy. Standing outside the door, not yet having gone in, I was drenched in cold sweat, my whole body shaking. What had I just heard? My head buzzed. I couldn't admit I'd heard it. Inside I was a mess of disbelief and complicated emotion. Willow, that girl must be sick in the head. She actually likes me, but the key is, the way she acts in front of me is totally different. Fine. So she's pretending like this just to mess with me. She's definitely sick. What normal person would like someone who's bullied her since childhood? I don't dare go in and get scolded anymore. Right now I just want to run away fast. What I didn't know then, and learned later from others, was that the moment I pushed the door open, Willow noticed I'd come back, and those words she'd just spoken to the other rich kids were meant for me too. That brat's never changed. Run at the first sign of trouble. Chapter 2. On the drive home my mind was in turmoil. I couldn't make sense of any of it. So I ran through everything that had happened since the intelligent AI went into sleep mode. Anything she liked, I'd egg my dad on to throw money at and snatch it away. If she picked a dish, I'd move the table. If it rained and I drove past her, I'd floor the accelerator. I secretly stuffed fake cockroaches into her bag. Her screams were loud enough to trigger the voice-activated lights in my house. I know it was over the line. I felt guilty, too, but what could I do? I'm leaving eventually. Honestly, every single thing I did, taken separately, would be enough to get me dragged through the internet for years. System, say, sir, although I'm an intelligent AI, I also have an emotion module. If I had to put myself in your shoes, within 3 days I'd kill you, and throw your ashes down the toilet. Right, see how awful I've been. By all rights she should despise me already, I said. After a long silence the AI suddenly analyzed. System, sir, have you considered this possibility? System, there's an emotional pattern called masochistic tendencies. System, for people with this tendency, the more you torment them, the more they love you fiercely. What the fuck are you talking about? I couldn't understand it, and goosebumps prickled all over me. System, analysis indicates she seems to match that psychological profile, the AI continued. System, otherwise, given everything you've done, how could she keep indulging you and even develop feelings for you? What are you saying? I was stunned. I felt like running away. System, during sleep I missed your decision-making process, but for some reason. I'm actually quite curious now. System, sir, do you like Miss Lou? If you do, that's actually really cool. Hey, since when did you get into gossip after you went to sleep? I was speechless. My head was spinning with only a few words echoing, masochist. SM. My imagination ran wild picturing Willow in my arms, eyes hazy and shy, lightly pursing her red lips, whispering with embarrassed softness, "George, bully me hard." Jesus. I jolted back to my senses. Drenched in cold sweat, I admit it, I panicked. "I don't want to play this game anymore. Please, stop this. Send me back. I'm done playing." System, impossible. "Sir, Miss Lou's dislike value has reset to 0. Even I can't change that. What do we do then?" Right. You should brainwash her. Get her to scold me again. Call me an idiot. Call me insane. Anything, just stop this. She's a normal girl. Right. Didn't expect her psychology to be, The AI hesitated, then said, "System, there's another possibility. Miss Lou may not have a psychological issue. She may genuinely like you. No matter how vain or spoiled you are. No matter how you humiliate or suppress her. She simply can't bring herself to despise you. As some people online say, you make a fuss. She laughs. That's love." Bullshit. The image of Willow and I looking at each other kept replaying in my mind, and it chilled me to the bone. This is terrifying. Terrifying. I can't provoke that. If I act up and she smiles. I almost cracked up. That's more perverse than her being a weirdo. I'm not even this messed up. Because of this I didn't dare go out. I stayed home for days like a good boy, terrified I'd run into her and it'd be too awkward. She did call a few times during that period. I didn't answer any of them. I even turned my phone off. I was afraid that if I picked up I'd hear her soft voice say, "George, I like you. Let's be together. Then you can torment me forever. You can do whatever to me for life. I'll love it so much." Arg. I'd had dreams like that several times. Each time they terrified me awake. You can hide for a while, but you can't hide forever. And besides, I'm not the sort to sit quietly forever. Chapter 3. That day, I was killing time playing games when suddenly a message popped up. It was from my bro David. "My dear godfather's been looking for you these past few days. Not answering calls or messages. Turns out you're gaming. I'm throwing a masquerade ball. Young master, are you in the mood to honor us with your presence? Stop gaming already." I didn't hesitate for a second. I agreed right away. I'd been cooped up at home for days, about to go crazy. This guy David practically throws a ball every year, and every year it's something new. What never changes is, the place will be full of hot influencer models with killer bodies. Who could resist that kind of temptation? The most important thing is, even though we're all in the same circle, Willow and her friends never attend. Those girls treat these parties like the plague, totally avoid them. So, I can go out and have fun without worrying about running into her. After I agreed, David sent a white suit and a fox mask to my place. With a mischievous squint and that cheap grin of his, he said, "Tonight, I've got a surprise lined up for you." "Good brother." I squinted knowingly, and the two of us burst out laughing. After putting on the white suit, I looked at myself in the mirror, nodding in deep satisfaction. As expected of me, dashing, elegant, charming, suave. Damn, I look good. In the mirror, my eyes gleamed black and bright. My tall figure carried a faint smile at the corner of my lips. Looking like this at the ball, I was sure I'd make countless girls swoon. Just the thought made me cackle out loud. Cringe. David was nearly speechless beside me, muttering, "I've seen narcissists, but never one this bad." Dashing and suave. Really, he made a gagging gesture. I shot him a sharp glare, and he quickly forced a grin, flattering me. "Brother Wong, you're right. Tonight I'll make sure everything's arranged perfectly for you." "Good lad, you've got heart." I was now really looking forward to the surprise he promised. Influencer babes. Here I come. Time for a great night. Wait, no. The moment I stepped into David's house, my smile froze solid. No influencer babes in sight. One glance and, wasn't that Willow and her whole gang of besties? Tensed up, my fists clenched hard, I glared at David, nearly ready to deck him right then and there. This was your so-called surprise. Where were the stunning influencer models? At the very least, even just some random party girls would do. Why Willow? Of all people, wasn't this making things hard for me? And yet, David caught me winking and grimacing at him, but instead of realizing the problem, he winked back, as if to say, "Well, like the surprise, I even got Willow here for you." "You bastard." I almost exploded. Grabbing him by the neck, I growled threateningly, "Right now, immediately, get me something else. Anything but Willow, or I'm never gaming with you again." David yelped in pain, whining, "Come on, Brother Wong, don't get worked up. You don't know how much it cost me to get her here. I thought you liked her." As he spoke, he signaled with his eyes toward Willow in the crowd. His words made me laugh angrily. Who said I liked? But then I lifted my head, and there she was, among the crowd. Willow stood like the brightest star, graceful in every gesture, as if a goddess had descended to earth. You don't get it. She's super busy now. Word is, she's about to take over the Lu Corporation. I had to beg and plead for ages before she agreed to come tonight. Otherwise, no matter how much money or favors I spent, there was no way I could have gotten her here. See, that's how much I care about you, bro. Hearing David's words, I nearly coughed up blood. No need, men. Absolutely no need. This wasn't a surprise, it was pure shock. And who likes her anyway? Don't talk nonsense. Hey, Willow, look who I've. That guy was waving her over. A chill shot down my spine, and I immediately let go of him and bolted outside. I didn't want to see her right now. All right, I admit it, I panicked. After learning certain things, I just couldn't face her for the moment. I ran to a dark corner outside, glanced back at David's brightly lit house filled with laughter and noise, and shook my head bitterly with a wry smile. Oh God, what kind of sin did I commit? I should be inside too, surrounded by a bunch of influencer models calling me Brother George. At the very least, I should be drinking and bragging with my bros, right? But instead, David had to invite Willow. Now I could only end up out here feeding mosquitoes, pitiful and pathetic, too tragic. Damn it, I spent so much effort dressing up to look this sharp, and now I can't even. Ugh, it's all Willow's fault, I muttered angrily under my breath. How did I make you hate me? A voice came from behind, tinged with mockery. I nearly jumped out of my skin, whipping around. Willow, why are you? She was standing not far away in the shadows, her expression cold yet tinged with displeasure. I was stunned for a moment. This girl could actually look this beautiful. But I quickly regained myself, though awkward and annoyed. I had no idea how long she'd been standing there, or how much of my grumbling she'd overheard, trying to cover. I glared at her, snapping, "You girl, how can you do this? Has no one ever told you it's wrong to eavesdrop on others? Am I an other to you?" Willow tonight wore a porcelain blue cheongsam that perfectly showcased her slender figure. Combined with her naturally cool aura, she looked like a fairy descended to earth. Even I couldn't help staring. She held a fox mask, just like mine. Damn, so David sold me out after all. Young master, you've been something else these past few days. I've been trying to find you forever. Not answering calls, not replying to texts. Even when I went to your house you weren't there. The darkness hid her expression, but her voice, half teasing, half helpless, carried a trace of grievance. She must have had no choice but to set this trap with David to lure me out. As she went on, her tone grew even more plaintive. Wow, host, I've been dormant all these years, and I never expected Miss Lou to have grown into such a graceful, outstanding beauty. Even I can't take my eyes off her. Who's looking at her? Don't talk nonsense. Shut up already. Whoever's staring at her is a dog. Okay. After that jab from the AI, I guiltily shifted my gaze away, but my eyes still sneaked glances from the corner. Woof woof. The AI barked suddenly. My face burned red with embarrassment. I wanted nothing more than to crawl into a hole. Why you? What do you want from me? I forced myself to sound calm, though my voice carried its usual irritating edge. Tonight, Willow really had stunned me with her beauty, but I didn't forget my role. I was the wicked male supporting role, holding fast to my code of conduct. If I can mess things up, I must. I immediately unleashed cold sarcasm and ridicule, nitpicking her outfit, hoping to ruin her mood so she'd scold me. Oh, wow. And here I was wondering who it was. Turns out it's you, the ugly one. You don't actually think you look pretty tonight, do you? What do you even want with me? Standing next to me ruins my chances of flirting. You know, just look at you. TSK TSK. I had planned to snatch her fox mask, but instead of getting angry at my words, she simply smiled. You like it? Huh? Then take it. With casual ease, she placed the fox mask onto my face. As she leaned in, a delicate fragrance drifted to my nose, and before I knew it my heart was racing. Our eyes met at close range, and I realized her eyes seemed to hold starlight. Locked in that gaze, both of us flushed red. I quickly pulled myself together, averted my gaze and took several steps back, muttering something under my breath. The mask was still fixed to my face. I hadn't taken it off, and I felt like a kid. She, meanwhile, pressed her lips into a shy, smiling line, her face flushing faintly. I was making a fuss. She was smiling. That line flashed through my head again and sent goosebumps rippling over me. This girl really is a masochist, isn't she? She's not even angry. What the hell? Do you like it, young master? She asked, smiling as she pursed her lips and lifted an eyebrow. Even though I knew she meant the mask, I felt there was more behind the words, so I shook my head quickly. No, who would like that? Ridiculous. A chill ran down my spine. It had only been a few days, and she already seemed somehow different. What had happened to her? Behave yourself. Don't be ridiculous, I added, then awkwardly corrected. Don't call me young master, call me handsome. The dashing, handsome. She actually giggled. Her look toward me even seemed a little tender. No way, she can't actually be a masochist, right? I'd already said plenty of nasty things. I took another silent step back. What's wrong? She asked, puzzled by my reaction. Why didn't you go in with David? It's lively in there and everyone's having fun. Oh, just now I heard you muttering out here. Could it be because of me? Are you avoiding me? Are you scared of me? Her voice took on an injured tone. Cut it out, I stammered, a little flustered and scrambling for words. Suddenly she moved closer. Our faces were barely 10 centimeters apart. Cheek to cheek, her warm breath hit my face. I could feel my own skin heat up. My heart felt like it might stop, my eyes trembling as they locked with her star-bright ones. Why are you avoiding me? she murmured, voice edged with that plaintive expression that made my knees wobble. Panic flustered, I quickly looked away and babbled, I'm not avoiding you. I've been busy with work these past few days. The way that group was crowding around you and how happy you looked, a lowly cringy guy like me shouldn't ruin your mood. Right, I know my place, I'm the nasty, cringeworthy supporting guy. Cut it out. She imitated my tone and rolled her eyes prettily. You're obviously avoiding me. Working, everyone knows you're a carefree rich kid who shirks responsibility. Then she paused, thoughtful, and nodded. Well, one thing you said right, people were complimenting me that I look pretty tonight. But for some reason, coming from you I'm suddenly not pretty, I'm ugly. I couldn't bring myself to meet her eyes. One more thing. She suddenly grabbed my hand. Her touch was soft and warm, an amazing, tender feeling. If you're here, I'll be happier. The tone was gentle, accompanied by a light laugh that sounded like coaxing. My mind emptied. I understood what she meant, but I couldn't process it. What did she mean? She'd be happier with me here. Could it really be, like the system said, that she's a masochist? Come on, young master, you're already here. Hurry and go in. Let them see how you're dressed tonight. Trust me, my girlfriends will definitely be completely enchanted by you. Don't sulk. Okay, be a good boy. Don't call me young master, call me handsome. For some reason the thing I reflexively objected to was that one line. Just then David looked over at us, flushed with excitement, gesturing for me to hurry up and come in. The party did sound fun. I felt a little tempted, since I'd come all this way. It'd be a shame to just leave now. As she tugged me along toward the entrance. For once I didn't resist. In fact, I even muttered nervously, going in hand with you, if they see us, won't it look bad? Everyone knew Willow and I never got along. It was always me stirring up trouble and her scolding me. To suddenly show up together, hand in hand. When did you start caring about what others think? Seeing my hesitant, evasive look, she smirked playfully and simply hooked her arm through mine, marching us straight inside. Whoa, look, it's Sister Willow with a guy on her arm. We can't see his face, but that figure and aura, so good. No way, is that her dance partner for the ball? Who is this guy? To actually win her favor, I'm jealous. Buffed, are you all blind? That's George. David's voice rang out, amused at the crowd. What? That's young Master Wong. No way. Weren't they sworn enemies? How are they showing up arm in arm? It is young Master Wong. Wow. I didn't expect him to have such a good figure and presence. If only he'd keep his mouth shut. Even better. Sister Willow, good thing you brought young Master Wong back. Otherwise we'd have missed out on this treat for the eyes, and the chance altogether. Inside the villa, our mutual friends were buzzing, chirping over each other. Classic mutual flattery in business circles. Listening to them praise me from head to toe, I actually started to feel a little embarrassed. I couldn't help but sneak a glance at Willow, and caught her looking at me too. Under the lights, the blush on her pretty face made her all the more stunning. The instant our eyes met, the faint smile at her lips deepened, like a blossom opening in radiant bloom. See, I wasn't wrong, was I? They're already falling for you. Even I think you look pretty good tonight. I stared at her, my emotions a jumble, guilt mixed with a quiet happiness. I didn't know why, but tonight, seeing Willow stirred something different inside me, a new, unfamiliar flutter, behind the fox mask. My lips curved softly as I met her gaze with genuine sincerity. Thank you. Chapter 4. That said, let's be honest, I didn't believe a single word those people were saying. Them, complimenting me, please, if they weren't bad-mouthing me behind my back, that would already be a miracle. After all, I was the wicked male supporting role. No one could possibly like me after all the things I'd done. This had David's fingerprints all over it. He tricked me into coming here to meet Willow, and I still hadn't settled that score. Spill it. Since when have you and Willow been together, as your brother? How come I didn't know? What do you mean, together? I'd barely gotten away from the crowd's chatter when David leaned in, interrogating me. Good grief, you've got the nerve to ask me that. You're the one who set me up, and I haven't even beaten you up yet. And now you're talking nonsense. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't just say whatever you want. Careful, or I'll sue you for slander. I rolled my eyes in exasperation. No, wait, don't tell me you two had a fight. David frowned in confusion. When he'd invited Willow to the party, she'd set one hard condition, that I had to be there. Otherwise she wouldn't come with her girlfriends. Only after I agreed did David confirm her attendance. Back then he hadn't thought too much of it, but now, he felt like a clown. No, worse, like a stray dog on the roadside, kicked and mocked as a lonely single. Watching him wail about not being told how I didn't treat him like a brother, I felt even more exasperated and almost punched him. I'll say this one more time. I'm not with her. We're not some couple fighting. She and I don't get along, you all know that. If I really had something with her, may I lose every single game for the rest of my life. Give me a break. David rolled his eyes at me, looking utterly disappointed, like I was hopeless. You're the only one who thinks you two don't get along. Everyone knows she likes you. The problem is you're too dense, always playing dumb. Believe it or not, if you gave her the nod, she'd confess to you tonight, and here I thought you'd finally wised up. Realized Willow. Stop. Stop, stop. I cut him off, my scalp tingling, a cold shiver running down my spine. What the hell do you mean, if I gave her the nod? Could it really be? Was she actually a masochist, like the system said? Don't believe me. Huh? David lowered his voice, smirking mysteriously. Turn around and look at her, quick. I didn't get it, but I did as he said, whipped around at lightning speed, looking straight toward Willow, and right in that instant, our eyes met across the noisy crowd. My sudden glance seemed to catch her off guard. For once her face showed panic, a rare fluster. I don't know if you're really clueless or just pretending, but let me tell you, bro. You think all those times you locked eyes with her were coincidences? No one, coincidentally, makes eye contact every single time. Her gaze has never left you, anywhere. Anytime, if you turn, you'll find her. And you've never noticed. David leaned close, whispering in my ear, she likes you. Holy crap. In that instant, I felt like lightning struck me, frozen in place, stunned. My gaze stayed fixed on Willow in the crowd, awkward, dodging, pretending to chat with her friends, yet sneaking glances at me again and again. David's words echoed in my mind, she likes me. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. That kind of cliché only happens in cheesy TV dramas. How could it be real? Especially after all the awful things I'd done. I'd been so malicious toward her that even I felt guilty about it. How could she possibly like me? Back in school, I always messed with her. I'd hide her homework, and even her toilet paper, and anytime I caught wind of a project she was involved in, if there was any chance to sabotage her, I'd get my dad to throw money at it just to snatch it away. Don't you remember? Once she said she was afraid of bugs. I flew overseas that very night, caught several kinds, and snuck them into her room while she slept. The next morning, when she found them, didn't she cry? And there's more. Basically, the things I did were way too much. Even I felt a little embarrassed admitting it. You've played so many games your brain's gone mush. David rolled his eyes and threw an arm over my shoulder, sighing like I was hopeless. Think about it. Back in school, didn't she always do 2 sets of homework? One for herself to hand in early, and one for you to steal or copy. You thought you were so clever hiding her papers, but didn't you notice her deskmate's drawer never had books? Only stacks of tissues. Those were hers, prepared for you, so you could feel smug about your pranks. And those projects, they were supposed to be confidential. How did you even know about them? Ever consider the possibility that she and your dad already had an understanding, that she only leaked them so you could snatch them, waiting for you to say the word before she handed them over? And those bugs you caught, do you know why she cried the next morning? It wasn't fear. Then why? My mind went blank. I was numb, dumbfounded, because they'd broken out of their cocoons. Bright, colorful butterflies fluttering through her room. When she realized you'd been there the night before, she cried not from fear, but from being touched. David clicked his tongue. So maybe, just maybe, the pranks you thought were cruel, in her eyes, were romantic little details. What? I stood there, completely stunned, my whole world shaken to the core. Chapter 5. Turns out, honestly, I didn't realize that the pranks I thought were cruel had, without me meaning to, actually done so many little things that moved her. I stared at Willow in the crowd, my expression getting complicated. Luckily the mask hid my face. Even if she looked over she couldn't see me blush. She gave a shy smile and a slight nod, and my feelings got even more tangled. I asked David, so, when did you find out? Do you know Sherlock and Watson? He suddenly asked. I nodded blankly to show I did. He then patted my shoulder meaningfully and said, I wasn't praising you too. You're like Sherlock and Watson, one pretending to be clueless, the other actually clueless. One won't say it, the other won't either. The fact that she likes you, probably everyone knows except you. Have you two been fighting recently? Otherwise, with her personality, she wouldn't make her feelings so obvious. We all noticed. Save your scolding, let me just tell you straight. David, patting my white suit and the fox mask on my face, said, actually this outfit was picked by her. If you'd looked closely you'd see the sleeves embroidered with Lou. He pulled back the sleeve. Sure enough, the letters Lou were sewn there, a silent declaration, or a secret she couldn't voice. So she used this instead, hoping I'd notice. Don't look at me like that. I glared angrily and he scratched his head sheepishly. After all, he and Willow had teamed up to trick me. If you really can't handle it, just say yes already. It's Willow. Even if the Lou family isn't quite as rich as your Wong family, having her is your fortune. Hearing that, I glanced up and found her still looking at me. The faint blush on her face made her even lovelier. Obviously she saw me notice that Lou stitched on my cuff. That look I couldn't read before. Turns out it was love she couldn't hide. Men, just give in. She's your type. You know her. You can't run from it. David was in full shipper mode, like he finally had the pairing he'd wanted. All my life I'd insisted on my role in this world, the wicked male supporting role. And now, my worldview was collapsing. I'd always thought I was the one playing mean tricks on others, but unexpectedly, I was the one being mercilessly pranked. I'm not the wicked supporting role. I'm the clown, a complete, utter clown. And Willow, she's not normal either. Who gets bullied from childhood and grows up to like the big bad bully? Right, AI's analysis was probably correct. That girl must be a little messed up, not normal, a masochist, a full-on M. She needs to be picked on to be happy. Host. Human emotions are a very complex program. Even with my database I can't fully analyze everything. Is there any way I can just get out of here? Okay, I admit it, I panicked. I wanted to run away and avoid the whole mess. But no matter how I tried to ask, the AI didn't answer me. Could it have vanished again, like it did some years ago? Just as I was fretting and planning an excuse to slip away, Willow came walking straight toward us. The people nearby sensibly moved aside. David even made faces and winked, as if to say, your big moment has arrived. You bastard. I glared at him in anger, but she pushed through the crowd and stood by my side. Why didn't you come find me? Her voice was calm but carried a trace of loneliness and hurt, as if she'd been waiting for me all evening. Back in the old days, I used to cling to her all the time just to rile her up, following her everywhere for whole nights. Huh? Find you for what? My heart thudded. I tried to sound composed. What's wrong? Miss Lou, tonight I'm not pestering you. Doesn't that throw you off? To my surprise, she answered my sarcastic tone plainly, a little. When you're not by my side I feel uneasy. I was stunned. No need to be so blunt. Come on, bro. You can do it. David and the others urged like spectators at a long-anticipated reveal. Had their ship finally come to shore tonight? Inside I nearly cried. Couldn't you just keep liking her inside your head? I can't handle this. Besides, I'll leave sooner or later, to be honest. I kind of do like Willow. Setting everything else aside, the years of companionship already went beyond friendship, only I didn't dare face that feeling. Because I'm not from this world. I'm a passerby who transmigrated here. I won't be around in her life for long. I actually knew all this. I knew everything, but I wouldn't let myself confront it. Whenever something like this came up, I ran. Sitting at the table piled with all sorts of dishes, I was restless, anxious, stealing glances at Willow now and then. David and the others were still partying excitedly, but she seemed unfazed. Instead she poured me a glass of cola. You're acting weird tonight, she said. Weird? I sat straight and tried to look obedient. Isn't it odd? Normally you wouldn't be so well behaved. You'd have already slipped me crab shells and bone scraps to deal with. Heat rushed to my face at that, and I wanted to smack myself. What a rotten wicked supporting role I'd been. She murmured a few things I didn't catch. I was spacing out, nodding absent-mindedly. After a few seconds of silence, she dropped a bomb. Knowing I like you, does that make it hard for you to accept? What? I snapped back to attention, panicking, my eyes darting around before settling on her face. Why are you so calm? That made my skin crawl. Could she really? Doesn't matter for now. Help. I just want to get out of here. I couldn't stand being anywhere near this situation another second. Surprised? You should be. I'm surprised too, when I realized I couldn't be without you. I was shocked. I like you. She spoke with such composure, as if it were nothing to her, but her eyes never left me. The heat and shyness in them could not be hidden. I was floored, breathing quickened. Miss Lou, couldn't you pick a different place to say this? If I changed locations, I might not get the chance, she said, still looking at me. David and the others were almost starting to egg us on. Sorry, I've got something to do, I'll go. I couldn't think straight. My emotions were a mess. At my words, the warmth in her eyes visibly dimmed. She sighed softly. I don't really want to stay either. You're going the same way. Walk me home. Okay. I was about to refuse when she pursed her lips and added, quietly, I just want to spend a little more time with you. My heart, already leaning toward liking her, was being bombarded by her nonstop advances, and it was racing like crazy. I couldn't see my own face, but I could feel it burning hot. Willow's cheeks had also flushed a pretty, shy red. There was no way out now, she put it so plainly. If I refused, it would only embarrass her. I'm warning you, don't say that kind of stuff in the car. Say one word and I'll kick you out. What kind of stuff? Young master, do you mean you want me to go home with you? Her voice was bold, cheeks still flushed. With who she used to be, she would never have dared say something like that. Love really can change a person, make them braver. The whole drive I felt awkward, like sitting on pins and needles, stealing glances at Willow in the passenger seat. There was a fierce tug inside me. I couldn't bear to look directly, only thinking how to avoid it. I was torn and completely thrown off balance. Chapter 6. When I came home in a daze, I found old Wang sitting comfortably on the living room sofa, sipping tea and reading the paper. Couldn't have looked more at ease. My confusion was practically written on my face. After a moment's thought I decided to go over and calmly ask old Wang what he made of it all. I poured him a cup of hot tea. He jumped a little. Well, my young master's lost his mind. He's making tea for his old man. Old Wang. Seriously, no joke, I need to ask you something. I sat across from him. Seeing my serious look, he put down the paper. I have a friend. He and a girl grew up together as childhood companions but always seem to rub each other the wrong way. He constantly puts on airs and finds ways to pick on her. And she never gives him face and often scolds him. It looks like they hate each other, but they've always been inseparable. My friend, though, Has always thought she disliked him. Only today did he realize she doesn't hate him. It's left him shaken and confused. He doesn't know what to do. I see. Old Wang nodded, taking a sip of his tea, then asked back straight away. You mean Willow actually confessed to you? That's unexpected. No wonder you freaked out. What? No, I didn't. My face changed and I blurted a quick denial. But old Wang's smile. Okay, maybe my imagination ran wild. Wait, why does everyone already know Willow likes me while I'm standing here like an idiot who knows nothing? Old Wang, be honest, when did you find out? I fell quiet for a few seconds and slumped onto the sofa, exhausted. Collapse me now. You youngsters think you can hide those little feelings, he said with a shake of his head. Old Lou and I noticed long ago. We were just waiting to see when you two would come clean. What? I leapt up, shocked. Uncle Lou knew too. You brat. You call me all the time, begging me to throw money at her projects. You think you can just buy and snatch them that easily? Old Wang shook his head. Truth is, that girl never planned to keep things for herself. Those projects were built on cooperation between our families. He continued. Any project she took on could be handed over to you the moment you wanted it. There'd be no missing pieces. That's why over the years our cooperation with the Lu group has gone so smoothly. Old Wang said, clucking his tongue as he held his cup. He gave me a disdainful glance. Look at that girl, then look at you. That line left me dumbfounded, frozen on the spot. Information overload. I couldn't process it at once. Seeing my bewildered, panicked face, Old Wang sighed helplessly. Son, what am I supposed to call you? Just plain stupid or what? You said it yourself. You two grew up together. You always kept finding new ways to bully her. But didn't you ever notice, has she ever really lost her temper at you? When has she not gone along with your antics, just to make you happy? That girl has always been more mature and steady than you. You mention wanting something and she immediately delivers it to your doorstep. Right. His words were interrupted by my stubborn protest. That was because I blackmailed her, back then, to stack up annoyance points and go home victorious. I'd always made chances to torment Willow, threatening her into being my little follower. I commanded and she obeyed. Wasn't I being truly awful? You blockhead. Old Wang laughed outright. Do you really think she did it because you bullied her? She was trying to please you. Have you never noticed? Whenever you two appear you're inseparable, and you never once looked back. If you had turned around even once you'd see how happily she toddled after you. He started laughing so hard he threatened to call my mother just to make fun of me. Our son, single by skill. It drives me crazy. He literally raised his hand, half joking about smacking me, while I stood there stunned. Old Wang's words and David's words gradually began to overlap in my head, and my thoughts drifted back to those years of youth. Though the memories were blurry, I could still vaguely see a quiet little girl, dutifully carrying a heavy school bag behind a bully-like boy. Our shadows, under the setting sun, stretched longer and longer across the ground until, for a moment, they met. That scene played out every evening after school. When the sun sank, she would always hand me a candy without a word and stick close behind me. I would hear her footsteps as I strode ahead and never once looked back. Not even once. The sunset's afterglow is captivating, but the scenery behind you is just as stirring. At last I understood why I could walk forward without worry, because deep down I knew she was always behind me. That gave me peace. Late into the night I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. My mind was a mess of confusion, half dreaming, half worrying. I wasn't sure if it was idle thoughts or an actual dream. I saw the relief after the pressure of the college entrance exam was gone, the easy days of university when everyone seemed liberated, as if their nature had been set free. People started to touch the forbidden romances that were banned in high school, and I was no exception, casually dating someone. Then reality slapped me hard. That girl was a playboy. I was just one fish in her pond. Guess who found out? Of course, Willow. She stood up and exposed her cheating in bed. The hotel went crazy, and I stood outside the crowd like a child. Stunned and helpless, I watched as Willow, furious, grabbed a pillow and began to smash that girl with it over and over. I couldn't take the blow and didn't want to look at any of it, so I slipped away from the crowd and smoked outside. David came out swearing, saying he'd at least help me get some revenge. I didn't answer. I puffed on my cigarette, inhaled too fast, choked, and started coughing. Someone gently patted me, thinking it was David. I turned around, and it was Willow. She bit her lip lightly, looking complicated. Whatever I said earlier had drained the color from her face. What did I say? I'd angered David badly. He nearly hit me. What on earth had I said? My memory blurred. I buried my head in the pillow and, as the suffocating guilt built, I remembered. I had, driven by the worst intentions, stormed in to help myself instead, and ended up scolding Willow, the one who'd stood up for me. Don't pretend. Aren't you thrilled now? You finally got to watch the joke. Just get lost, I'd said. Guilt and remorse filled me, and my rationality dissolved into tears. Somehow, whenever I saw Willow, guilt and the urge to flee swamped me. Just seeing her smile, felt like a knife stabbing deep into my beating heart. Why was I so cruel? I wasn't truly a bad person, so why had I kept bullying this small, vulnerable girl? I hated myself. Why did I do those things, only to get out of this world? But where was my world anyway? I'd always believed that if I kept being awful, she'd end up hating me, talking about me behind my back, pointing fingers, cursing me out. Then I could accumulate enough disgust points and leave this world. Right, leave, go back. My thoughts drifted again. Memories of my past life were slipping away. I could hardly recall them. I didn't know why I was so obsessed with leaving. Chapter 7. Ah, right. In my previous life I didn't know what a home was, or what a father's love meant. I didn't even know what love was. I lived alone and lonely, until one day an accident happened. When I woke up, I found myself in a brand new world I didn't recognize. Here there was a home, parents, love, and friends. Everything I'd longed for was suddenly there. But for some reason I always felt a strong unease and a sense of unreality. Thinking it was all a dream I dared not wake from. It felt like I had stolen someone else's body, stepped into his life, and taken everything that belonged to him. Often at night I would wake up in a panic, lonely, guilty, and sad, holding myself and whispering sorry. I had a terrifying dream, the true George, like a vengeful ghost, questioning me. Why did you steal my body? Why did you step into my life and take everything that belonged to me, including my love? I didn't know. I didn't know anything. He would roar at me to get out of his body, and I would beg him to spare me a little while, that I'd leave soon. That's why, when I was a child, I was always gloomy. This guilt and unease filled me. At first I thought coming to this world was a gift from heaven, a chance to stop feeling so miserable for the rest of my life. Later I no longer saw it as a blessing. I felt like a thief who'd stolen someone else's life. I began to blame myself. I began to regret. I started pushing everyone who tried to get close away, refusing all their kindness. I turned myself into a spiky hedgehog, protecting myself and protecting them. The kinder they were to me, the more guilty I felt, because none of it really belonged to me. I was only a passerby in this world. Who knew which day I might vanish? Maybe heaven took pity and sent a system, the intelligent AI, that told me, do the tasks, make Willow hate you enough, and you can leave this world, you can go home. I was like someone drowning who grabbed at a lifeline, and I made the most regrettable decision of my life. I accepted. From the AI I learned this was a world with a script, follow the plot, and I could escape. It was a path that led slowly into darkness. I had no choice and I dared not look back. I could only keep walking forward, that way. My guilt might ease a little, but was this really what I wanted? Oh, right. I remember a movie I once saw, Blue Universe. There's a line, I know in the end I will still leave. I kept reminding myself each morning to like you a little less, and to make you dislike me a little more than yesterday, so that when I leave it will be easier for both of us. The arrow I shot in my youth finally struck today, right in my brow and heart. I had been denying something for a long time, refusing to admit it, until today I finally had an answer. Unconsciously, without even noticing, I had already fallen in love with her. It was past midnight. The cold wind howled outside, and I still sat on the bed, dazed. Sir, would you like to see yourself? There's something. It's time I told you. See myself. My heart nearly stopped for a moment. Was that the original George? Really, can I? I asked in a trembling voice, a fierce obsession rising inside me. If everything I have now actually belongs to him, then I'm a thief who stole his life. If I had a chance to meet him and talk face to face, rather than being haunted by him as a vengeful ghost in my dreams, I don't know what would happen. Sir, do you know what fate is? As my consciousness blurred, the intelligent AI asked coolly. Fate? I don't know. My mind went completely fuzzy. When I woke again, I found myself in a strange, special place. The place felt unreal, both true and false. A single door stood quietly there, like in a dream. Push the door open and walk in. You've been waiting a long time, the AI said, leaving me dizzy and confused. I took a deep breath, raised my trembling hand, and opened the door. Behind it was a high-tech room lined with monitors, and on each screen was a protagonist who looked exactly like me. Is he the original George? I stared in shock. No, the intelligent AI answered. It's you. Chapter 8. Me. That single word carried so much that it fried my CPU. I stood there staring at each screen showing versions of myself. One showed me in an ancient palace, wearing official robes and arguing with scholars, holding my ground and earning the emperor's applause. Another stood atop a snow peak, barely hanging on but gritting my teeth to push my limits, determined to plant the red flag on the summit. There was one skating through the skies on a sword, carefree and unburdened. What freedom! One more wore a military uniform, swore under the red banner, and finally fell on the battlefield defending the homeland. I realized the different screens represented different lives and stories, and every protagonist was me. Sir, you should have noticed, these people are not others. They have always been you. Always been me. What do you mean? I was even more puzzled, though I could see the implication. Does that mean that before this, I had already traveled countless parallel worlds? If so, why don't I have those memories? Were those lives I once lived? You asked for those memories erased. Why? My throat tightened and I croaked the question. Sir, your life has visited countless worlds and forged many grand myths. Yet you never truly experienced what you, yourself, wanted life to be. One day you recalled a youthful regret and decided to reset everything and start over. So you erased my memories and sent me back to this world. I went pale. Do you know what fate is? The voice now wasn't the AI, it was the versions of me from other worlds. I don't know. My answer trembled but remained the same. The other MES on the screen smiled with approval and said, "It's good you don't know. Only by not knowing what fate is can you truly come to know it. I'm a scientist. If you can traverse parallel time spaces, it's thanks to my invention. That's what gave you the chance to mend the regrets buried deep in your heart. So answer us, did you find her? Have you made amends for your regrets?" Their question hit me hard. I found it hard to accept. "Sir, I am the intelligent AI assistant you created. I'm sorry, I deceived you. After wiping your memories, you developed intense guilt and obsession. You believed you didn't belong in this world, that you were a thief who stole someone else's life, and you lived in continuous remorse. I had no other way. I fabricated a lie and told you this was a scripted world, so you would accumulate the heroine's disgust value. And the reason I disappeared for so long before was that I needed to restore energy and restore your memories so you could try again. I didn't expect this round to deviate so far from my calculations." Things changed. As the truth sunk in, the AI dropped another bomb that left me stunned. "This world is actually your original world, or rather, a parallel time space of your original world. You developed the inventions and created me in order to search across countless parallel worlds and find this one. Here, there's family, friends, and also, her." I took over the words in a daze, staring at a different world, a different version of myself. Is she my regret? Or rather, is she the regret of our entire lives? Isn't it? This time, their answer caught me off guard, and the guilt in my heart began to slowly fade away. To be precise, she is your regret, not our regret. In their different worlds, they already had their belonging. You're not some supporting character, you are the protagonist, the main character of your own life. Life is like a script refined countless times. Every coincidence in this moment is nothing more than inevitability written into the script. You spent your whole life finding your true belonging. You chose to forget all the memories of the past, just for the inevitability of this very moment. Perhaps you still feel guilty for what you did before, unable to face it, thinking you owe her. Then all the more reason not to run away. Face her bravely, treat her twice as well, and make up for the past. Won't that work? She likes you, no matter what you do. She still firmly likes you, and you like her. That's enough, isn't it? You only live once, just a few fleeting decades. Why leave yourself with regrets? She's a girl, yet she already had the courage to confess that she likes you, but you, as a man, are being so hesitant and timid. Was it just a dream? Such a long dream. When I opened my eyes, the sun was already shining brightly outside the window. The sunlight poured down on me, and my heart felt warm. Thank you. That word of thanks, I didn't even know who it was meant for. The AI remained silent, yet I didn't find it strange at all. Perhaps there was no such thing as a parallel world or an AI companion. Perhaps it was simply me, weighed down by guilt, refusing to forgive myself. I had finally thought it through and understood. Regarding Willow, I had to make things clear with her face to face, so I arranged to meet her. After waiting anxiously for a long while, Willow finally showed up late. And today, she was still just as stunningly beautiful. "I'm sorry. The reason I asked you out today was to apologize." I didn't give her time to react, blurting out straight away. "For certain unspeakable reasons, I bullied you in all sorts of ways since we were kids. I'm truly sorry. I hope you can forgive me." I started off with an apology and even bowed deeply, leaving her dumbfounded. Flustered, she quickly helped me up and shook her head. "It's okay, I don't mind. I was never even angry. Honestly, I just thought you were being a lunatic having one of your episodes." Damn. I had been feeling genuinely guilty, but now that she teased me like this, I felt much lighter. "You may not care, but I care." I shook my head with a bitter smile. "What I did isn't something that can be made up with a single sorry. So, how about this? No matter what you want, I'll give it to you. Anything I want." Her expression suddenly turned playful, her mood seemingly bright as she sized me up. I felt a chill down my spine but still nodded. "That's right. Money, projects, or anything else, I can give it to you. But all those things, I already have. My Lu family may not be as powerful as your Wang family, but we're not far behind either." "Then what do you want?" Watching her lips curve into a sly smile, I instinctively stepped back half a pace. This girl definitely had something in mind. "I want you." Willow wasn't joking. She looked at me with complete seriousness. "I have everything, except you." I understood exactly what she meant, but I hadn't sorted myself out yet. I didn't know how to handle it. "I know you don't like me." Seeing that I didn't respond for a long time, the light in her eyes gradually dimmed. "That's not true." Panicked, I blurted out. "I like you too. It's just that right now you like me too." When she heard that, she froze for a moment, then the dimness in her eyes brightened again. Damn it, I'd already said it. So there's no turning back now. "That's right, I admit I have feelings for you. Feelings beyond friendship, but, because of all the bad things I did to you before, I don't know whether what I feel is guilt or genuine affection. If I like you out of guilt, that would be unfair to you, and you'd be unhappy. So I need time to calm down and seriously examine this feeling. I want to be sure that I like you because I truly like you, not because I'm only feeling guilty." Hearing my words, Willow's eyes reddened. She trembled, covered her mouth, and choked up. "Indeed, it would be unfair to me. All these years you never looked back at me, not even once. But I don't mind, as long as I can be by your side. Even if you never turn back, I'd still be happy." Her words and the tears spilling from her eyes stabbed at my heart like a knife. I thought of what David had said. No matter when or where, if I looked back, I would always see a silly girl looking at me with eyes full of love. I suddenly smiled with relief, lifted my hand, and wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes with tenderness and pity. I remembered one time when I suddenly lost it and rushed to the loo group to find her while she was in a meeting. She stood in the conference room in professional attire, makeup cool and striking, her ponytail tied back, every bit the capable, efficient professional. Her every gesture radiated command and strategic poise. Perhaps it was then that I was drawn to her. Maybe, as others had said, she had never hidden her love for me. It was I who never turned around. So I never noticed. And she hadn't wallowed in romance or anguish. She kept living and working brilliantly, walking her own path. After we cleared the air that day, the girl knew I had feelings for her, and our contact became closer than before. Calls came incessantly. Even during meetings she let them ring. After work she'd come find me right away, wanting to cling to me 24 hours a day. I stopped my reckless, foolish behavior and began showing my true self in front of her, putting more attention on her. Only today did I realize that when she smiled, it was so sweet. There's even a tiny dimple at the corner of her mouth. I discovered many little habits I didn't know before, probably habits even she didn't notice. Little quirks she had. I felt an urgent desire to learn more about her. After knowing her for so many years, I found I still didn't really know her. By contrast, she could accurately point out some of my habits, which made me even more curious. What kind of scenery did she see when she followed behind me before? I suddenly wanted to experience that. After I kept pleading, she, though pretending reluctance, in truth, her smile was about to split her face, dug out our old high school uniforms and, hand in hand, took me back to that same high school. She led me down the streets and alleys we used to walk, and we ate the same snacks we used to. The taste hadn't changed, and sitting across from me were still the same two people as before. Chapter 9. The sky was growing darker. The last rays of sunset fell upon the earth and stretched out our shadows, which met and blended at some distant point. I let go of her hand. Under her inquisitive gaze, I gestured for her to keep walking ahead, while I took a step back and followed behind her. In that instant, it felt as though we had returned to those countless sunsets after school, except this time, our positions had been reversed. The blurred silhouette of the young girl from my memories began to overlap with the figure before me, and I didn't know when my eyes had begun to grow moist. Even though it was the first time I had stood behind her, watching her back without her turning around, my heart ached so much. For her, it wasn't the first time, it had been countless times, waiting for me, the one walking ahead, to turn back and look at her just once. I'm sorry, Willow. Until today, I never realized that the fool was actually me. Willow, walking ahead, stopped. She slowly turned around, and under the setting sun, she revealed a radiant smile. "It doesn't matter, George, young master," she said calmly. "In fact, since I was little, I already knew you did those things just to make me hate you. At first I was very young and didn't understand why you treated me that way. I would get so angry, but later I discovered, being by your side made me feel safe. Even if you mistreated me, I didn't get angry or blame you, because I knew that pretending to hate you, and letting you bother me, would make you stay." Hearing her words, I didn't know why, but my heart ached even more. Tears welled up and spilled from my eyes. "Do you say you feel guilty for never turning back to look at me? It's okay. On the contrary, I'm glad you never turned around, not even once. That way, from behind you, I didn't have to pretend to hate you, and I could show you my feelings honestly, without disguise." Her eyes also filled with tears, the liquid spilled from the corners, and with a trembling voice, she spoke through sobs. "I never hid the fact that I loved you, but why didn't you see it? In the places your eyes couldn't reach, I tried my best to be better, hoping that one day you would turn around." She broke into tears, but not out of resentment. It was the first time she bravely and shamelessly confessed the love she had buried deep in her heart. There's a line from a movie: "If the distance between us were 100 steps, I would take 99 of them toward you, and wait for you to take that last step. No matter how long I had to wait, I would do it, because I love you." She was wearing the high school uniform. The light of the sunset left me spellbound. The breeze lifted her hair, though tears streamed down her face. Her eyes burned with an intense gaze, not for anything else, but for me. I saw myself reflected in the depths of her gaze, as if I were the one thing she cared about most in this world. "Can I ask you a question? Why, after loving me for so long, did you only say it now?" I asked while wiping the tears from the corner of her eyes. "The legal age for a woman to marry is 20, and a few days ago I turned 23. I can't wait any longer. I've waited for you for more than 10 years. I don't want to wait anymore. Not even one more instant. George, I really like you so much. I don't know when it started, but I had a hunch, as if you didn't belong to this world, as if one day you would leave. Those words were like a dagger stabbing into my chest. They left me frozen in place, unable to utter a word for a long while. If I had heard that earlier, maybe I would have thought differently. I used to believe I didn't belong to this world, that sooner or later I would leave it. That's why I rejected every sign of affection. I didn't belong here. But now my perspective had changed. No one belongs to this world. We are all fleeting passengers in it, only with different lengths of stay. For many reasons, I had never seriously faced my choices or my feelings. I had only chosen to run away. Today I don't want to run anymore. I don't want to make her wait any longer. Even if I am just a passenger, I don't want to leave regrets behind. I'm sorry for making you wait in silence for so long. Thank you for enduring. I held her trembling hand and spoke with affection. From now on, it's my turn to love you. It's my turn to chase after you. Miss Willow, may I chase after you? Bois. She could no longer hold back her sobs. She squeezed my hand tightly, nodded through her tears, and cried out with emotion. I won't let you wait in silence another 10 years. If you say yes now, I will say yes immediately. Say, what? Seeing her tear-soaked face and how fragile she looked, I couldn't resist making a little mischief. I pretended not to understand. Ah, George, you, she, stunned and with eyes full of tears, began to blush, nervous and shy, as if she were about to give me a playful slap. Quickly, I abandoned the joke. Gently, I took her hand, wiped away her tears, and looked at her with tender sorrow and love, speaking softly. I love you. Will you be my girlfriend? George, I love you too. I've been waiting for you to say that for more than 10 years. Through tears of joy, she threw herself into my arms with all her strength. Our shadows intertwined under the setting sun and stretched all the way to the edge of the world. This time, I didn't run away, and I never will again. I'm not a side character. On the contrary, I am the protagonist of my own life. Only by not knowing what fate is, can one truly understand what fate is. Life is like a script rehearsed over and over. Every coincidence that happens in this moment is something inevitable within the script.